Welcome into Texans today. It's roster cutdown day, a very, very busy day around the NFL, and the Houston Texans, they find themselves smack dab in the middle of it with trade rumors circulating via Adam Schefter. We'll break that down. Plus, the Texans, they're already getting going. A bunch of roster cuts to break down on the back half of today's program. Before we get going, I'm trying to get to 33,000 subscribers in the month of August. We're so close. We're only 109 subs away, so if you're brand new to the channel, I break down Texans news and rumors every single day of the year. Live watch parties coming up, so don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button. It's 100% for free. All right, let's get right into it. Adam Schefter, early this morning, I had my buddies here at Chat Sports texting me this tweet. They said, Chuggs, have you seen it? I was pretty surprised to see the Texans shopping Cam Robinson, according to Adam Schefter. He signed this offseason to be the starting left tackle. That's important. Whenever he signed, it was before the draft. He was signed to be the starting left tackle after the Texans traded Jeremy Chuggs to the Washington Commanders. Now, he got injured during training camp whenever the Texans went on their little road trip to West Virginia, and rookie tackle Aireontae Ersery hasn't looked back since. He's looked amazing at the left tackle spot for this Texans team during training camp, during the preseason games. I think he is one of the top left tackles in the preseason in terms of snaps and pressures allowed. 0 pressures allowed on more than 20 snaps for Ersery. But the question remains, does it make sense to trade away Cam Robinson? And that's the main question I'm going to ask you folks today. Should the Texans trade Cam Robinson before roster cutdown day? Give me a yes. Give me a no. If you get hit with the YouTube ad break here, all good. Scroll on down and give me your answer. For me, I'm going to go with no. And you can call me crazy, but if they did trade Cam Robinson, I would want a 3rd-round pick. And people in the Chat Sports office were laughing at me. People on Twitter were saying, oh, Jeremy, really a 3rd-round pick for Cam Robinson? Well, he's a starting left tackle. You get him for the entire season on a maximum discount, according to Field Yates. This is what he had to tweet right after Schefter tweeted out that the Texans were reportedly shopping Cam Robinson. A team interested in Robinson would have to take on a moderate cost. He would be due a maximum of $3.75 million if he was traded to a new team. The Texans previously paid him $8.75 million in a signing bonus. So you're telling me a team would get a starting left tackle for the entire season at $3.75 million? Yeah, if I'm the Houston Texans, we're trying to go all in this year. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. We're trying to get to the Super Bowl. We need all the depth we can get. And everybody out there saying, take a 5th, take a 6th-round pick. What does that do for the Texans? You get a 5th-round pick for a starting left tackle? That's a shit compensation if you ask me, especially with all of these teams being rumored to be interested in offensive tackles. The Dallas Cowboys, they had Tyler Guyton go down. Now, it wasn't a season-ending injury for Tyler Guyton, but they need tackle depth in Dallas. They need offensive line help in general. The Chicago Bears as well. Their tackle position is shaky right in front of second-year quarterback Caleb Williams. Atlanta Falcons, Caleb McGarry, he got injured. They need some tackle help. And the Miami Dolphins, their offensive line is in flux as well, and they could use some offensive tackle help. So if there's multiple teams interested, they only get him for $3.75 million this year. Hell yeah, I want a 3rd-round pick for Cam Robinson if he's traded. You can call me crazy all you want, but if they don't get that, why trade him at all? Just keep him for tackle depth. And I know this Texans team, DeMeco Ryans, Nick Caserio, they want to do right by their players. And the reports are Cam Robinson wants to start, and they want to appease him. But at the same time, don't do it at your own detriment. Don't trade him away to another team and only get a 4th or 5th round pick because, you want to do right by Cam Robinson. Keep him on the team. Keep him as tackle depth because he's a damn good left tackle, especially as your backup left tackle. So if I'm the Texans, I'm not trading him. I'm holding on to him at least into the trade deadline if you can't get a 3rd-round pick right now before roster cutdown day. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Now, coming up, the main reason not to trade Cam, because we already had some cuts today, and one cut in particular made me go, yeah, I definitely think the Texans should keep Cam Robinson. I'll tell you who that is in just a moment, but today's show is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks Football. We are so flipping back, baby, and this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Preseason football, no more, baby. It is the real deal. College football's here as well, so don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. It's super simple. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Look how happy Drewski is winning all that money over there on Prize Picks. And for this weekend, I have a lineup for you folks at home. Arch Manning, the new QB for the Longhorns, 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdowns. That's a demon pick. Give me the more. And then Garrett Nussmeier of LSU. I love this kid. 279.5 passing yards, though, in week 1 against Clemson. I'll take the less on that. You can use my lineup or make your own. Just do it over at Prize Picks today. Download the Prize Picks app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Get started today with our friends at Prize Picks. Run your game. It makes watching football that much more fun. And then whenever basketball season's here, baseball, about to get into some real baseball here. Aireontae should be coming back to the lineup for your Houston Astros. I'm so pumped to see Jordan back in there. So make sure you get started today with our friends over at Prize Picks. Run your game. And Casey, before you push this is actually a 5. So if you want to change that to a 5, all good. So the first thing I wanted to break down on this half of the episode is talking about the Texans offensive line. Here's your new depth chart. And you might notice a couple names aren't on there that were there before. A couple names aren't on there, right? Because the Texans, they've already made some roster moves. The first one, and the main reason why I'm like, yeah, the Texans should keep Cam Robinson, they released Trent Brown. Not a big surprise. He hadn't really practiced at all. He had just been cleared to return to practice from his season-ending injury last year, so he wasn't on the field. So it makes sense that the Texans went ahead and released Trent Brown. Maybe they decide to bring him back at some point, but that move made me be like, okay, if he's not going to play tackle, I don't love the options that they have. I'll tell you what the options are in just a second, but another offensive lineman waived by the Texans, Ladarius Henderson. I know a lot of people were on the Henderson hype train, especially after Nick Caserio sang his praises earlier this offseason for his, transformation, how good he looked in the offseason, but he really only got work with the third strings. Wish the best to Ladarius Henderson, but another guy who has been cut from this team. The backup options, though, at tackle, though, now that Trent Brown is not in the mix, Blake Fisher, Austin Decklis, Zach Thomas, Connor McDermott. None of these guys inspire any confidence in me. None of these guys really get me jazzed up saying, oh, yeah, if anything happens to Titus Howard or Aireontae Ersery, we're good. We're fully good. If Decklis takes any snaps for us this season, I might throw up. So that's why I really want Cam Robinson to stay on the Texans. Not anything bad against these guys. I think okay depth, but for a team that's trying to vie for the AFC Championship game maybe this year, I want some good depth, and I want this team to be as prepared as possible for injuries down the road, just like we saw from Joe Mixon, right? Out the first 4 weeks, they got Nick Chubb. They have good backups in place. I want the same thing along our offensive line. Some more cuts the Texans made ahead of roster cutdown day. Keaton Slovis, looks like Graham Mertz won that QB3 battle. The 2024 practice squad quarterback did get released by the Texans, along with Arthur Maulet, who the Texans signed, I believe, just maybe a month and a half ago. He was released. He had a tough training camp, tough preseason showings for Arthur Maulet. He was released by the Texans. This one surprised me a little bit. Jalen Mills also released, signed just, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago by this Texans squad, and got an interception in that final preseason game. Obviously, not enough for the Houston Texans to keep him on the roster. And it looks like they like guys like Miles Bryant a little bit more. They like guys, maybe like the rookie Jalen Reed a little bit more, MJ Stewart. So those two guys released by the Houston Texans ahead of roster cut down day. Like I said, I thought the signing of Jalen Mills was a good one, but just didn't make the roster. Another signing from this offseason, not making the roster, Nick Neiman. I said he was in a fierce battle for that linebacker 5 battle. We already knew the top 4, they were kind of solidified going into roster cutdown day. Azeez Al-Shire, Henry To'oTo'o, EJ Speed, Christian Harris. Those guys were good. Now, for me, if they keep 5, it's between Hansen and Hill. Those are the 2 guys I'm looking at, and I think they will keep 5. So be on the lookout to if they keep only 5. If they keep 6, they're going to keep both those guys. But if they keep only 5, it's going to come down to Jake Hansen or Jamal Hill, and this is why you subscribe. I'm breaking down all the cuts from today. The official Texans 53-man roster breakdown coming later on today. You got to hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the #1 channel here on YouTube for Texans coverage. It's right here at Texans Today. And I'm not behind a paywall, baby. All my stuff 100% free, so you get Texans content 365 days out of the year. I got you covered. And last thing I got to say before the video, we need a Jordan homer like I need oxygen. Let's go, Astros. And I'll be back later on today with the official Texans 53-man roster.